very excited that you guys are here. And the reason why I decided to talk about a growth mindset and what that actually entails was because of what I saw, what was happening with my little boy. I don't know who of you have seen the video that Marlies and I did, where I gave a little bit of background. But that's actually why I wanted to dig more into this. And a little bit later on, I'm going to share with you a personal story that actually happened today with me again, with the same scenario. So I think if we look at our children today, and I think really, and I know no one wants to hear the word COVID, but I think COVID really made our children, I don't want to say lazy, but they didn't do so much work, and everything was, it was a little bit easier. And when they then came back from that long period, they were really struggling. And we saw that in all our practices around South Africa. That's mainly where we saw that. And it actually boils down to teaching our children a growth mindset. And I think us as parents, we need to know more about this as well, because sometimes we are so fixed in our own ways as well. So I think it's a nice topic to chat about. And I really hope that you are going to enjoy this. And I'm going to keep it really simple. I'm going to talk about the definitions. I'm going to share with you some examples of how this looks like in school and also at home. Okay, and then what can we do? How can I change that? Is there any strategies that we can use? And that's the main reason. I want to empower you with it's such a simple thing that we can do to change this. So let's start off. So let me just introduce you to myself, because I don't know who of you know me, but I'm Karen Visser, and I'm the founder and co-owner of Violin Brain Training. And over here next to me is my sister. You will always see us together. We are always together. And we really enjoy the field that we are in. I can really tell you that. I just want to close that. We really enjoy the field that we are in. And together we really want to empower teachers, anyone, parents, about the skills that children need today to be successful and independent and work on their own. So Violin Brain Training mainly focuses on identifying weak skill sets that hinders children to function on an optimal level. And then we help them with a training program where we enhance all these cognitive skills and then executive functioning skills as well. So that's mainly what we do. And Marlies is on. Marlies, are you on? Let me just quickly see if she is on. So we do that. And then, of course, also we developed through the years, we developed our own study skills course. And I'm going to touch on that a little bit. And I'm going to tell you about a nice event that we have. So this is just a little bit about us. And we just love helping people and helping teachers and parents to make some small little shifts in their daily lives that can at the end help them tremendously. So if we look at, so Marlies is here. Marlies is here. Thanks, Marlies. So you will answer the questions, right? So I can focus. I don't want to look everywhere, so then I'm full-blown ADHD guy, so I need to really keep myself together. Okay, so
I'm here.
Okay, great.
I'm here. Sorry, I was just delayed with the connection. Thank you. I'm here.
Okay. So Marlies will handle all the questions, and then we are ready to start. I'm just going to minimize this. All right. So if we look at the difference between having a growth mindset and having a fixed mindset, is that if you have a growth mindset, you believe that you can do better, and you're going to do better by trying again and practicing new skills. Okay. And as I'm giving you these examples, I want you to think about your children, but I want you to think about your husband, and I want you to think about yourself as well. Because like I said, it's always beneficial if we can look at ourselves and see where we can help, not the people around us, but ourselves as well. So also, the second one is you see mistakes as opportunities to learn. Now, I know this is a very difficult thing because it's not nice to make mistakes. And I just want to quickly interrupt myself here as well. What we need to understand as well is that you need to take personality in consideration here as well, because a certain personality type also plays a role in how easy it will be to go from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. So always just keep personality type in the back of your head as well. Okay. So another one, embrace challenges and they can persevere. I want to use an example because the lady that was part of this example was actually here. It's Yolandi from Polokwane. She was here about 2 weeks ago, and Marlies and I were taking her through our training process, and we were struggling with her Facebook page. And we just couldn't change it. We couldn't go and alter the email address. Long story short, it took us 2 days. I promise you 2 days that we were off and on trying to rectify Facebook that does not wanted to change the email address. And it was so frustrating. And at one time, Yolandi will laugh about this. I told her, one thing that you can know about us is we will never give up. And it's really a mindset. It is a mindset of just throwing in the towel and say, listen, let's just start from scratch, or saying, listen, I'm not going to this is not going to beat me. Okay. And then also, like the last one, is believing in your ability to achieve goals through hard work. And so if you think about our children these days, they don't like struggling. And I always, in all the workshops that I present, I will always tell parents, it's good for your child to struggle, because struggling actually makes them stronger. And I know it's easier said than done, but it is. Okay. So that's the definition and some of the examples of having a growth mindset. But the opposite one is the more difficult one. And I'm going to give you another example of that as well. So they think that this is how I am, this is how God made me, and I will not be able to change. A lot of times I think we believe, I know my mom always said, you married a man like your dad, and it's true. And some things he's just never going to change. And I said, I refuse to accept that. Okay. So, but they believe that this is how I am, and you're not going to change me. Right. And the main thing that, and the one that's the one aspect that's it's a negative one, and it hinders a lot of people, is that they don't want to take on a challenge because of the fear of failure, because they don't want to have a red face and be seen as someone that failed. And also the last one, they believe that you can't improve much no matter how hard you try. So that are mainly the two different scenarios that I wanted to sketch with you. But I want to give you some examples how it looks like. But I want to show you, and this scared.
Lauren?
Yes.
I just want to make sure that, because I can't see your screen, I just see you. I don't see what you share. Maybe other people can just say if they see your PowerPoint.
Guys, can you see my PowerPoint? Thanks, Marie.
I'm not seeing it. I just want to make sure.
Okay, Cornice.
Oh, they see it.
Yeah, Yolandi sees it.
Okay, I don't know why I'm not seeing it, but it's fine. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
Thanks. Okay, so I want to show you what research actually shows, and this was a shocker for me, is that praising a child for being smart promotes a fixed mindset. Now, I've got a little Lord Lamiki, and he really does very well in school. And I mean, we all do it. We want to praise our children. And I mean, I will always tell him, you are so awesome, you know? And when I read and I went into the studies and I read some of these facts, I was like, oh my gosh, you know, we need to rather praising them for their hard work. So praising them for their effort, for their hard work, that promotes a growth mindset. So this was very, very interesting. So if there are any of you that wants to get some of the resources, I've got a bunch of resources with regards to the growth of the fixed mindset. I've got some TED Talks that you can listen to. So if there's any one of you that wants to have access to that resources, I've got the readables and some of that you can listen to. You can just put it in the chat, just say, I would like some resources, and then I will make sure, and put your email there as well, and then I will make sure to email that to you. I don't want to give this to everyone, and that you don't want that. So rather tell me when you want to listen and read more up about this. And that's why I said to shift the way we speak is going to be, you need to be more aware about what you need to say and what you need not to say. And I think this is also something that is actually very valuable for teachers as well, because I wanted to quickly go back here, and I'm saying this with a lot of respect. I was a teacher many years ago, and in our field of expertise, I can tell you so many times we would do a presentation, and some of these, and remember the things that Marlies and I teach is all things that's relevant now. We do a lot of research, we attend a lot of workshops and trainings to keep up with everything that's happening now in the field of education and all of that. And a lot of times we find some of these teachers, and like I said, I'm saying this very respectfully because you do get this specific personality type that doesn't like change, is that they have an absolute fixed mindset. They are not open to anything else that they were taught or they were teaching for almost a decade or 20, 30 years, and it's like, I'm not going to change. Okay, and I think this is something really that the way we speak to our children and the way teachers speak to classmates or to children plays a very, very big role. Okay, so if we look at a growth mindset, it can help them to navigate social challenges, to improve relationships, and to emphasize more. And you guys know that, again, since COVID, our children, they don't socialize anymore as they did. And a lot of children, we see it every day, is they really struggle to socialize, okay? Because they don't want to put their feet in it because they're scared they are going to have a red face. Okay, but we need to encourage effort, learning, and resilience, because a lot of children, they struggle to bounce back. Something very small can absolutely floor them. Okay, and that's why I'm going to share with you an example of what happened to me today. All right, so how can you do this? Is with the way you speak to your children. And the way you are going to speak now, and try speak now, is to be more specific. So instead of saying, wow, you are so awesome, you are the most clever child that I've ever seen, you are going to be more specific, and you are going to address the specific thing that they did that was so awesome. So like, for instance, you did a great job solving that math problem. Because if you are always just telling them they're awesome and they start struggling with reading, then they're not awesome anymore. So we need to be more specific with how we address the children. And I made this mistake, like I said, with Ilandre. And Marlies and I were talking about this the other days, because we were talking that way, and then he would come to us and he would say, I only got 89% for, let's say, maths. And then we would make, and Marlies would always make a mistake, make a joke and say, oh, so why not 100%? And it's in a joke, but it makes, in the long run, it can, the end result may be that they think that, okay, but 98% is not so good. So we need to be more specific with the specific things that they do. And I told him actually this term, I'm glad if your marks are going down, because it's good that then you have something to work for again. So you need to be sincere when you talk to them, because what do we do as parents or as moms? We do that. Our children, we love them with everything, so we exaggerate a little bit to make them feel better. And again, that's why I'm telling you my story, is that I'm doing it, I did it wrong. So trying to fix this is definitely going to have a positive outcome. So rather now just saying it as it is and maybe hurt them a little bit, because they are going to learn from that. Okay, so we need to focus, and this is the key. Here's the key of this whole presentation, is that we need to focus on the process, not the outcome. So, and I'm going to give you some examples. I'm going to show you how you can break this down, because it's easy now to say it like this, but if you now go home and you want to try this at home, you need structure. So I'm going to try and give you some structure. So it's a process. We're not going to focus on the outcome. So we're going to praise the effort. So they're trying, the strategy that maybe is going to not work out every time, and the attitude, so that they can learn from their mistakes. So that's actually all we need to do, right? So, and this one is also number 4 is also very important. We need to help them identify their own emotions and accomplishments. Something that I can tell you, and I don't know how old your children are, that's in this presentation, you need to know that our children, especially with emotions, some of them don't have the vocabulary yet to express how they're actually feeling. So, and then if they don't know how to express that, they throw a tantrum, and then it's a fight, okay? So you can say something like, you must feel so happy that you learn how to ride a bike. That takes a lot of courage and practice, okay? So whatever they're trying to do, if it's starting playing tennis, to acknowledge the effort, even if there's failures, and then the attitude, okay? But let me give you some examples in the classroom. What will happen in the classroom? And also at home. If you help your child at home, this is some of the behavior that you are going to see, is that they don't want to, they avoid challenges with everything in their mind. They don't want to even try, okay? Because what happens, like I said, they don't want to be red-faced. They don't want to be seen as I couldn't do it, all right? They are very easy to give up. So if they get a low test mark, for instance, they are just going to say, listen, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this, okay? So rather saying that, let me reset my goals, okay? I want to interrupt myself here. I want to tell you what happened to me today. And it actually shocked me, but again, I was now so aware of it that I know how to fix this. Is my middle son is 21 years old, and we went for his driver's license for the 3rd time. Now, the first time he couldn't even get onto the course, and he was so negative. And it took myself and my husband, I cannot tell you, hours of just trying to get him positive to say it's okay, we're going to just do it again. Second time again, he failed again. And then this morning, we decided to let him drive with another car, with his own car. And what happened, such a silly thing, is the guy asked him, where's the lights? And with this, it's a new car that he's got, and he's never driven with this car, so he didn't know where the lights was. And then he totally melted down. He got out of the car and he started walking away. And he said to me, you can take my bakkie and I will walk, and I'm not doing this. And it was amazing. He's a young man, he's 21 years old, throwing, say a vloermoer, because he didn't know where the lights was. And I felt so bad for him, and then I said, you know what? You're going to get back into this car and you're going to do this. And because he wanted to give up, he said to me, I don't want this car. I will go on my bike. So, and that's why I'm saying, it's tough to see it with your own kids, and especially if they are older and you think they are supposed to be able to handle things like this. But he was so fearful about not getting it right that he'd rather just not have a car. So it was sad, but it was good on the one side as well. Okay. The last one is they don't want feedback, or if a teacher says something, or if you say something, they take it personally immediately. They see it as criticism. Okay. So that is some of the behaviors that you will see and that teachers will see in the classroom. On the other hand, that's the nice one, the positive one. They love a challenge. And again, like I said, sometimes there is some personality types that love a challenge. Okay. They want to learn more. They like to put in the effort, and persisting is it's an easy thing to do. Okay. And I'll tell you now, a lot of kids don't want to persist because they fail. And that's why I'm going to give you a strategy how you can take what we are talking about here and do it at home, so that you can have like an environment to teach them this growth mindset, because you are going to need to put a scenario there where you can now facilitate this whole process so that they can get success, so that they can learn to persist. Okay. And if they get that feedback, they see it as, okay, if this didn't work, let's do this. And Marlies will tell you this as well. If we do our study methods courses and our workshops, a lot of these kids struggle if they don't get it right this way. If you try and show them another way, they don't want to adjust. But a growth mindset child adjusts immediately because they see it as a way to still get to the end goal. Okay, so let's look at feedback. So if you talk to them, if you give them feedback with whatever, if it's fixed, if they've got a fixed mindset, they are defensive immediately. They are going to tell you, listen. So let's say, for instance, they get back from school. They are going to tell you everything that the teacher did wrong, okay? Because they see it as a personal attack. The teacher doesn't like me or whatever, okay? So they don't want feedback, okay? And they take it so personally, okay? So that's the main thing with the fixed mindset. A growth mindset, of course, is just the opposite. So they embrace it, they take the information, they said, okay, great, I love this feedback. Let me go and try it this way. Okay, so this is really what we want to try and teach them. Okay, so I just wanted to quickly, I got some more examples I want to show you. And maybe if you've got your phone with you, just take a photo of this. But a fixed mindset will, for instance, have an attitude of mistakes means I'm not good at it. Okay, where an altered growth mindset will say mistakes are opportunities to learn and to grow. Let's figure out what we can improve next time. And this is why I want to share with you how to teach your children to set goals. Because if you do that, that number one will happen automatically. Another one, you're either good at it or you're not. I've said it so many times in my life. Normally, I said that about myself when it came to mathematics. Okay. So altered skills mindset would be skills can be developed with practice and persistence. Keep trying and we're going to improve. So it's just that little shift. It's just the way we speak. Okay. This one, you're not a math person. I'm not a math person. I said that so often. Or you could say math might be challenging now, but with practice and different strategies, I can become better at it. Okay. And then the last one, fixed mindset. It's too difficult for you. Don't try. And so many kids, we see this so many times. I'm not even going to try. And again, that's why I'm saying we need to facilitate this process of setting a goal and making certain that if we set this goal, that they achieve it. And I want to give you another example. Again, the other day, Marlies were presenting a workshop, a study method workshop, and we were talking about setting goals. And then we would ask the children, okay, what's your math? Let's say your math marks. And then this one child said, no, 60%. Okay, and the Marlies asked, okay, what's your goal then for the next exam? And he's like 80%. Now, what happens is that's such an unrealistic goal. So in his mind, maybe he set that for himself or he set it to his parents. A parent maybe at that stage doesn't know what it entails to go up in a mark for 20%, but it's such an unrealistic goal that the chances of that child reaching that goal is not good. So what's going to happen? They're going to fail. And if they fail, what's going to happen? They're not going to even try again. So again, you need to facilitate this very carefully with the strategy that I'm going to give you now, and then make certain that they get success. Okay. So it's difficult. I'm not going to try. It may be challenging, but I believe in my ability I can overcome this obstacle. Let me break this down into small little bits and let's work together and let's see if we can get there. Okay. So this is just some of the wording that you can be aware of, and I'll share with you now what we've got available for parents to help you even more. So, how can we use goals to teach a growth mindset? Because now you maybe you want to help your child to have this mindset, but we now need a vehicle to get there. We need a process. Okay. So we're going to do this through goals. So I'm going to just quickly go through the definition, the types, and I'm going to share with you. This is the strategy. Okay, this is the one. This is why you are here. Okay, you're going to help them. Okay, so if we look at goals, I always talk about it's little guiding stars that's taking us to the end goal, where we want to go. A goal helps the child and ourselves as parents as well to have direction, number one. And number two, it motivates us because we need to know where we're going, and it's going to motivate us to get there. Okay. But now you get different types of goals. There's actually 5. I just put in 3 here. Academic one, a personal one, and there's social ones. So I don't want you, if you go and set goals with your children now, think it must only be academic. You can start with something fun, anything. A hobby, maybe things like that. Okay, I'll get to that. But I'm going to give you examples of specific ones, of academic ones, because I want you to, I know how parents are, the reports are coming out now. A lot of parents are very stressed. So how am I going to go ahead? Okay, so I'm going to give you some ways and how you're going to use the SMART model. So if we look at the SMART goal, and don't worry, I'm going to email tomorrow when this recording is going out. I'm going to give you all a template with the SMART method. It's in Afrikaans and in English, what you can use now to go and sit with your child and set SMART goals. So if we talk about a SMART goal, the S stands for it must be specific. Okay, so I'm going to use, we're all women on here. One that we always, I want to lose weight. Okay, we all want to lose weight, always, forever. So we need a specific goal. Okay, it's a very specific one. The M stands for we need to be able to measure it, because if we measure it, that's the small little bits in between, the jumping from the one star to the other star, because that's what's going to make us or keep us motivated to keep on going. Okay, so we need to be able to measure it. Okay, with some other thing. Okay, I'll get to that. Then it must be achievable. Okay, so it can't be that far reached, from 60 to 80%. It must be relevant. So why are we doing this? Why am I setting this goal? And then the last one is the most important one. That's the one that we also struggle with as moms. We want to lose weight and we want to do it now. But this one, we need to be time bound. So we need to say, listen, I want to reach this goal within the next 90 days. Okay, let me give you some examples. So I just wanted to tell you, SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Okay, now some of the benefits of setting goals, and you can go read up on it. Number one, it creates a growth mindset. So that is what we need to do. It gives us a sense of direction and purpose, and it teaches self-discipline. And I'm going to talk about our workshop tomorrow, but we want, in the end, like I said, I don't know how old your children are, but we want, in the end, to have our children we want to get them independent, work on their own, know how to start, know how to persevere. If there's challenges, what am I going to do? How can I get to another solution? And we want them to have the discipline to do it on their own, because it's inside of them. They've got that attitude of, I'm not going to give up, I'm going to try harder every time. Okay, so 3 strategies is that you need to remember is that if you start teaching our children goals, you need to do this and practice. This is a skill, people. So it's like if we go and we want to play tennis, you can't just go for 3 or 5 lessons to be good. You need to go more. Okay, so you need to set goals regularly. Okay, because if you want to bring this into your household now, you have to start small and you have to do it again and again. Okay, and then if you number 2 is you're going to use the SMART framework. All right, and then if you have success, like we have had success now with my son's driver's license, we are going to, from finish here, we are going to have fun and we are going to celebrate. Okay, but also if there's failures, that you can also pick them up and say, listen, it's okay. What are we going to do different next time? How are we going to change this outcome? And it's difficult, but you guys, if they've got support, they can do it. Okay, and that support is you. All right, so let me give you some examples. So over here, I've got a little boy, 7 years old. So let's look at him. Let me just see here. Improve his reading. Okay, so he wants to improve his reading. So if we want to set a goal for him, a SMART goal, you would say now for the S, I'm going to improve reading fluency by reading 15 minutes every day for the next month. It's very specific. So every day for 15 minutes for the next month. My little Lord Lameki has set a goal for himself that he plays golf. So he practices in his net for 40 minutes every day. And he does it. Okay. So on his own, I don't have to check him up. And that's awesome to see. So M is then measurable, right? So how are we going to measure? We're going to track the progress by recording the number of books read and the time spent reading each day. So if you want to do this, for instance, you can maybe have a little, just a little paper and have them write down the books that they are reading, for instance, and a little time place for the time that they can write down. The reason why I'm telling you to have it like a template, I mean, you can do it on a computer quickly or just draw it on a piece of paper. It's important for children to see, have it visually in front of them, because it makes it much more real. So in our study method course, when we teach them, we give them the templates for everything, and everything is up on the wall so that they can be reminded of what they are working towards. Okay, so visually helps very, very well. Okay, attainable. So we're going to choose books that are age appropriate. Sorry, there is a spelling mistake, for the level that they are on. It doesn't help us if we're going to give a very difficult book and they're struggling with a book they don't understand the words, things like that. Okay, reachable, reading fluency is important for. So why are relatable? Sorry, relatable. Why is this relevant? What is this going to help me going forward? Reading, that's why we are all here. Reading is so important for going forward, for learning, for comprehension. So they are going to use reading and reading skills forever in a day. So it's going to be relevant. And then we've got an end goal within a month. And then after that, you can then say, okay, let's celebrate. So that's what I'm saying. And this goal doesn't have to be long. It can even be a week goal. Okay, it can be something that you do in a week. We want quick wins so that they feel, I can do this, because if I can do it, it's awesome. Because you are going to use this method so that they don't set a goal that's so high that they are not going to have success, and that's going to foster an attitude of, I'm not going to even try it. I've got another one here of a 10-year-old girl that she wants to improve her math marks. Okay. So she's saying, I'm going to improve my math skills by practicing for 20 minutes every day for the next month. I'm going to track my progress because I'm going to do extra quizzes online, for instance. So I'm going to write down my scores, again, visually. And there's so many nice programs that's for free on the internet for maths, for instance. So there's many resources for that. Choose math problems that are, again, age appropriate. Okay. And why maths? Okay, I don't know what I have to go in again. Again, it's relevant. They're going to use it like in forever. Okay. And we've got the goal of for 1 month. I hope you can see. So you need to break this down for them. Now, of course, within the SMART method, there's different other things that they need to do as well. But this is a very good starting point for them. So this is the visual that I'm going to give for you. So you can then write in there what is the goal. And then there's the S, the M, the A, the L. And then you can start playing around with this. And like I said, there's so many different things that you can do, goals that you can set, fun goals that you can set. Everything doesn't have to be school related. It's, like I said, it can be a new sport, it can be a hobby, anything like that. Okay. So parents ask us every day, what can I do to help to develop this goal setting mindset? Is start early. So even if your child is in grade 1, you can teach them. I always say the earlier the better. And as soon as you can, if they can understand, you can start setting goals. So the earlier you start, the better is it. It's never too late. Okay, it's never too late. And then you need to teach them to plan and to prioritize. So planning the goals, of putting that SMART method into play, okay, and then prioritizing prioritizing time and things like that. So you need to put a framework in place for that. And of course, you need to lead by example, okay, and then celebrate success. So what I wanted to show you over here is a small little, I call it, it's a goal planning kit that is available. It will be available in the next 2 weeks in Afrikaans and in English. So we've got a starter guide for parents, and I've got it here. So I just wanted to quickly read to you some of the things that we cover in there. So we teach you that you don't set the goal. They need to set the goal. So the goal must be theirs. How are you going to help them get there? How are you going to help them to break this task into smaller steps? Then how to plan for obstacles, because that happens as well. And then some bonus tips, so this little booklet has got everything in it. And then also this planning kit is about 45 pages long with all the templates. So there's a, let me show you how it looks. It's actually very nice. I hope you will able to see a little bit, but there's like a goal setting ladder that they use. You sit with them and they're going to measure the progress, things like that. So it's just fun little templates that you can use, use the goal setting, but in a fun, playful way. Okay, and then over here, there's 130 ways to encourage and support your child. So there's a little booklet on that. And then over here, I've got 100 plus goal ideas and action plans that you can use with your child. Like I said, I'm giving you everything in templates so that you can take the next step and just take the goal and then put it into place. It's like a roadmap. Okay, so this will be available. If there's any of you that would like to be notified by email when we launch this, and then I will have more detail of what's in every booklet. You can just in the chat box now, just put in, we will just put in, I'm interested, and then I will make certain we've got your emails on your registrations, then we can send it to you. Okay, then I wanted to show you. So an action plan will entail something like, we first have to identify the goal. Then we are going to access the strengths and the weaknesses. So we're going to do a little bit of evaluation there. Then we are going to break down the goal into measurable steps. There's going to be a timeline. We're going to look at all the resources. We're going to create a support system. We're going to track the progress. And then we're going to reflect and adjust. Okay, so that's